Hello and welcome back to my channel. Once again, this is Teacher Jesse. At sa video na to, ang pag-uusapan natin ay tungkol sa how to change improper fractions to mixed numbers and vice versa. Pero bago yan, sa mga hindi pa nakapag-subscribe ng aking channel, huwag kalimutang mag-subscribe sa power bank and click nyo din ang notification bell na all para lagi kayong updated sa aking mga i-upload na mga math tutorial videos. Simulan na natin. So let's start with this activity. How do we show the following fractions using diagrams or illustration? So, meron tayong dalawa. We have letter A is 1 3/4, which is a mixed number or a mixed fraction. And ang pangalawa naman is 7/4, which is an improper fraction. Kaya ito tinawag na improper fraction kasi yung numerator niya mas malaki sa denominator. So, paano guhit or ipakita ang mga ito using diagrams? So, let's start with the mixed fraction or mixed number, which is 1 3/4. So first is, of course, kailangan mong gumuhit ng 1 whole. And since there is 3/4, so lagpas siya ng 1 whole. So kailangan meron ka pang isang buo. And first is, we are going to shade all of this, but we have to consider the denominator. Ang ginamit na denominator dito is 4. So kailangan nating hatiin ng 4 times ang isang buo or ang 1 whole. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then these 4 parts are shaded kasi 1. Meron na tayong 1. And then, kailangan pa nating mag-shade ng 3 parts pa. And 4 parts pa rin ang isang whole. Dapat equally divided kasi ang each whole. So, yan. 1, 2, 3. And the 3 parts are shaded. So, this is now the illustration of 1 3/4. Okay, kung titingnan mo nga naman, this is 1 whole and then this is 3/4. But kailangan ang 1 whole tsaka yung isa pang buo dapat magkasing laki sila. Okay? So how about 7 and 7/4? So we have to consider the denominator again. Ang isang buo or ang 1 whole ay divided into 4 parts. So if this 1 whole, we divide it into 4 parts and 7 shaded parts. So paano yan? So kung assuming we are going to divide it into 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, meron pa tayong kulang kasi kailangan 7 parts ang shaded. So ibig sabihin, kailangan nating gumuhit ng isa pang 1 whole and then we're going to shade 3 more para maging 7. Kasi 1, 2, 3, 4 and then pang 5, 6, and 7. And this is now our illustration of the 7/4. Ganyan gumuhit ng improper fraction. Okay, so if we are going to observe 1 3/4 and 7/4, they are just actually naming the same fraction or the same amount. Therefore, we can say that 1 3/4 is just equal to 7/4 or they are just equivalent. Thus, we can write them in either way. So, pwedeng isulat pala to or isulat ang fraction na to na ipakita ng shaded parts using 1 3/4 and pwede ring 7/4. And that is what we are going to discuss. How about if we will not show or we will not draw diagrams? Can we name 1 3/4 or change this 1 3/4 into 7/4 or 7/4 into 1 3/4, yung tinatawag nating vice versa, magkabaligtad? Okay, so that is what we are going to discuss further. So how do we change a mixed number into an improper fraction? So, simulan natin sa mixed number ng 1 3/4 na binigay kanina. Alam natin na 7/4 ito. Okay, so paano yan? We have steps to follow. We have step number 1, multiply the whole number and the denominator. So ito yung whole number and then ito yung denominator. So 1 times 4 is just equal to 4. And then step number 2 is add the product obtained in step number 1, which is this one, this 4, to the numerator. So etong 4 daw i-add sa numerator, which is 3. So 4 plus 3 is equal to 7. And we got this 7. At ang step number 3 naman is write the sum in step 2, which is this one, 7, as the numerator of the new fraction, then copy the denominator of the mixed number. So isulat daw natin to as numerator, ayan, and then kopyahin daw natin tong denominator na 4. Ayan, ang 7 galing dito, and then ang 4 dito galing. And we have our new fraction, which is 7/4, which is, pinakita naman natin kanina, 7/4 nga. Okay? So, yan ang steps. So, another example, pakita ta. Actually, you can try this one and you can pause the video if you need a time extension. Okay, how about this 2 2/3? Sige nga, subukan nyo. Okay, you can pause the video, but this time I'll be showing the answer. So 2 2/3, so just multiply this. Step number 1, 2 times 3 is 6. And then, yung 6, dagdagan natin ng numerator, which is 2. So, 6 plus 2 is equal to 8. And we got this 8. Sulat natin ng 8. And then, kopyahin natin ang 3. We have 8 thirds. So, the equivalent fraction or the improper fraction form of this 2 and 2 thirds na mixed number is 8 over 3. Check nga natin using diagram. 8 thirds ba ang 2 and 2 thirds? Tingnan natin. So, dapat 8 thirds. So, kung guhit natin ang 2 and 2 thirds and 8 over 3, dapat magkaparehas ang kanilang guhit. Okay, so this is just checking. We need 2. And then, we have 2 thirds. So, kailangan natin ng extra. And then, we are going to divide each part by 3. So, 1, 2, 3. And then, shaded yan lahat. Shaded rin yan lahat para meron na tayong 2. This is 1, this is 2. And then, kailangan natin i-shade ang 2 parts. 2 out of 3. And we got this diagram, which is the diagram of 2 and 2 thirds. Okay? How about 8 over 3 or 8 thirds? Dapat ganito rin ang kanyang illustration. So, 8 over 3. So, ang 1 whole, i-divide into 3 parts. And then, we are going to shade 1, 2, 3. Kulang pa tayo kasi kailangan makashade tayo ng 8 parts. So, we have to add another whole. 1 whole and then divide into 3. 1, 2, 3. And we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We still lack 2. So, kailangan pa natin ng dalawang additional. So, 1 whole na naman. And then 1 and 2. And this is 8 over 3 or 8 thirds. And as you can see, klarong-klaro naman, they're just naming the same. Therefore, they are just equal. So, 2 and 2 thirds is equal to 8 thirds. Okay? So, how about if we are going to do it vice versa, pabaligtad, yung improper fraction na naman into a mixed number. So, we have the steps to follow. For example, 7 over 4. So, ang step number 1 is to divide the numerator by the denominator. So, yung numerator na 7, i-divide by 4. Sulat natin using the long division. So, 7 divided by 4, or ilang 4 ba meron sa 7? So, skip count ka, 4. Pag 8 kasi lagpas na. So, 4, 1 lang. 1 times 4 is 4, and 7 minus 4 is equal to 3. Then, step number 2 is we write the quotient, this is 1, the quotient, as the whole number. So, ito na yung magiging whole number. The remainder as the numerator, itong 3 na remainder magiging numerator, and the divisor, the 4, is the denominator. So, paano yan? Ito yung whole number, ayan. Ang remainder, dyan sa taas magiging numerator, at ang divisor, nandyan. So, the answer is 1 and 3/4. Okay? So, another example. We have 5 over 3. Actually, you can pause the video if you need more time or if you want to try this one. So, 5 over 3. Tingnan natin. So, 5 divided by 3. Ilang 3's ba meron sa 5? We have 3, 6. Lagpas na kung 6. 1 lang. So, 3. So, 1 times 3 is 3 and 5 minus 3 is equal to 2. And we are going to write this. This is 1, the whole number, 2, and 3. So, 1 and 2 thirds. And our answer is 1 and 2 thirds. Kaya this time, i-check natin. Kasi kanina, alam natin na ang equivalent ng 7/4 is 1 and 3/4 based doon sa pinakauna nating example. How about this one? I-check natin ang ating answer using the diagram pa rin. Okay, so this is the diagram. Dapat ang 5 thirds maging kaparehas ng diagram ng 1 and 2 thirds. So 5 over 3. So we are going to shade, we are going to have 1 whole and then divide into 3 parts. Yan, 2, 3. And then shaded. Dapat 5 parts ang shaded. We have 1, 2, 3. So kulang pa tayo ng dalawa. So magdagdag tayo ng dalawa. 4 and 5. And this is now our illustration of 5 thirds. How about 1 and 2 thirds? So, drawing tayo ng 1 whole and then another whole. And then, we shade this 1, divide into 3. So, 3 parts yan. And then, we need to shade 2 out of 3 in this 1 whole. And we got this 1 and 2 thirds as the diagram. And obviously, magkapareha sila. So, ibig sabihin, tama ang ating sagot na 1 and 2 thirds. And that's how to change an improper fraction to mix and vice versa. Okay, so yun lang muna for today. I hope that you have learned something, and if you learned, please naman paki-like naman ang ating video at paki-share na rin sa iba para magamit nila, especially this pandemic. And huwag rin kalimutan sa mga hindi pa nakapag-subscribe, click nyo din ang subscribe button, and then please click the notification bell na all para lagi kayong updated sa aking mga i-upload na mga math tutorial videos. Thank you very much for watching. See you next time.